I am your host, and in today's episode, we'll cover the remarkable work being done to reduce breast cancer deaths and increase employability among the visually impaired in Uganda. Our inspiration for this episode comes from the efforts of the Gifted Hands Network, founded by Andrew Mukose. With a mission to improve early breast cancer screening and awareness, the Gifted Hands Network is making a difference one step at a time. Most impressively, they are creating sustainable employment opportunities for visually impaired individuals, turning a double challenge into a powerful solution. So let's delve into how this impactful organization combines health initiatives with job creation. We'll explore the significance of early breast cancer detection and the innovative ways the Gifted Hands Network is involving the visually impaired in this crucial work. The combination of health advocacy and employment for the visually impaired is not just admirable, it's revolutionary. By conducting early breast cancer screenings and spreading awareness, the Gifted Hands Network directly addresses an urgent health need. But they don't stop there. They empower the visually impaired by providing them with jobs, giving them a source of income and a sense of purpose. This dual approach is more than a win-win. It's a model of ingenuity and compassion. It's proof that when we look beyond conventional solutions, we can find ways to uplift and support even the most marginalized communities.
Andrew Mukose is founder and chief executive officer of Gifted Hands Network, an organization that recruits and trains visually impaired women to become certified medical tactile examiners. This therefore allows blind women to use their disability as an opportunity to create employment for themselves while helping other women with cancer screening. Andrew holds a bachelor's degree in medical and community-based rehabilitation from Kyambongo University in Uganda. A social entrepreneur, professional mentor, life coach, humanitarian, and special needs rehabilitator, Andrew believes in making a difference in the lives of marginalized people and communities. Andrew Mukose is our guest on today's episode of Voices of Hope podcast.
Hey Andrew, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm good. Nice to meet you.
Same here, my brother. So, Andrew, for the people who don't know you, who is Andrew Mukose?
So, Andrew Mukose is the founder and chief executive officer of Gifted Hands Network, an organization that recruits and medically trains visually impaired women to become certified medical tactile examiners, so they're in position to conduct the early breast cancer detection using their well-trained and heightened linear sense of touch to palpate the breasts. Therefore, it's a platform where blind women use their disability as an opportunity to create employment for themselves as they are saving many lives of other people from breast cancer. Remember, once breast cancer is early detected, can easily be cured by the local treatment methods we have in Uganda, like chemotherapy, and they are really available here in Uganda. In addition to that, I hold a bachelor's degree in medical and community-based rehabilitation in Uganda, and I am a social entrepreneur, professional mentor, life coach, humanitarian, and a special needs rehabilitator. I believe in making a difference in the lives of the marginalized people and communities. And with that, we've managed, as Andrew with the organization, managed to scoop a lot of awards, both international and national, to mention but a few.
Okay, that's great. Can you tell us more about the prices and all the stuff you got so far and what you have been doing or what Gifted Hand Network already did?
So as Gifted Hands Network, we have a variety of program areas. And in these program areas, we have one we call the Breast Cancer Free Uganda campaign. And the Breast Cancer Free Uganda campaign, this is where we try to go to the community, we educate people, sensitize them, and really exchange information about breast cancer. This is where we encourage them to attend to early breast cancer detection. We do the screening, we do the breast cancer detection itself, that's breast cancer screening. And once we identify any individual having any kind of lump in their breasts, we are in position to refer them with our partners called the Uganda Cancer Institute. So in this, they're in position to do the treatment through our partners, Uganda Cancer Institute, more especially when it is in its early stages. So that's why most times we encourage people, more so the women, to attend to early breast cancer detection in their early stages, because we believe once breast cancer is early detected, can easily be cured by the local treatment methods we have in Uganda, like chemotherapy. And also another program area is that we also support the disabled people. When you look at that, when you look at a visually impaired person, a visually impaired person has that heightened and genius sense of touch. That once you medically train this person to carry out what they call in the medical language palpation, they're in position to do it more than some a medical personnel who sees, because palpation method is the first is the first method you always use before even going for things like mammograph. So that's why we encourage them more to attend to early breast cancer detection, that they can be in position to be palpated and at least identify signs of lumps in their breasts, and hence being referred, if at all there are some signs, then we refer them for mammography. So in this, what I'm trying to say, that the blind people, they have that sense of touch which we don't have, that once we give them the opportunity, they can really use their disability as an opportunity to create employment for themselves, as they are saving many lives of other people from breast cancer.
Okay, okay.
Okay, our other program area is that we hold what we call dinner in the dark event. I don't know whether I've ever heard about dinner in the dark, but dinner in the dark is a charity event we always have in Uganda at Sheraton Hotel, whereby you come, like we invite people from the public, private sector, whereby they come, we eat and drink in the darkness. In this, we are trying to show them the life of the blind people. They are always in the dark, they are always eating in the dark, having fun in the dark, and even they are having sorrows in the dark. So in this, we are trying to show the public that disability is not inability. Being blind, you can be in position to do something which the other person who is able-bodied cannot do. For instance, this blind person can really serve you in the darkness, but you who sees cannot serve in the darkness. Neither can you even walk in the darkness during this event. But here the blind person comes, serves you, and in position to go through what the blind go through during their everyday life. And we call it is a journey of enjoying the extraordinary sensory experience.
Thank you for this information, my brother. But before we move forward, can you just tell me a little bit more about the motivation behind the creation of this wonderful organization?
Maybe let me take you back from, first of all, from the motivation. Uh, like as Arya said, personally, I grew up from a single parented family with my mother, who was a lecturer at one of the universities in Uganda. Unfortunately, on her way back home, she got a car accident and incidentally got blind. Therefore, her contract as a lecturer was terminated because of the blindness, because of her getting blind. So, with this is the mother who had who was taking care. It was both the mother and a father taking care of over 7 kids. So by losing her contract, this meant that we went through out of financial crisis, suffering and chaos. And remember, it's not only my mother, but in Uganda, over 2.3 million blind people go through the same situation, whereby they are looked at as misfits, caste people, and people cannot be educated, and even like some families take them as misfits in the society.
Wow, I didn't know about this story. Sorry for your mom. Hope now she's okay.
Yes, while me as studying medical and community-based rehabilitation, this is where I realized that the blind have the heightened and the genius sense of touch. That once we medically train them, they can be in position to do palpation, and that is the early breast cancer detection, or finding out that the lumps. They can do it more than even the able-bodied person.
True.
So by getting this analysis and all this research, and in lineage to what I've gone through with my family, I made more research whereby Uganda is having over 50,000 people having breast cancer, and over 4,500 are dying every year. Why? Because we're having only one machine in Uganda, and most of people like always attend to breast cancer detection in their late stages, and hence most of them are ever referred to overseas countries like India, USA. But trust me, 99.9% cannot afford the transport and the treatment costs to such places.
That's true.
So this is the greatest motivation of why I began Gifted Hands Network, whereby whereby we recruit and train the blind people to become certified medical tactile examiners so that they can be in position to conduct the early breast cancer detection using their well-trained, heightened sense of touch through palpating the breasts. So in this giving them the opportunity to use their disability to get employment for themselves, as they are saving also lives of people suffering from breast cancer. Because remember, once early detected, breast cancer can easily be cured or can easily be treated by the local treatment methods we have in Uganda, like chemotherapy. So this is, I took you back from the motivation to really try to bring it together so that you can understand where it began from. So this was the greatest motivation, and that's why I started Gifted Hands Network in 2015, and that's why we're implementing such activities in a way that we're impacting on the lives of people by detecting them breast cancer, educating them about breast cancer, and encouraging them to attend to early breast cancer detection, because we believe once we early detect it, it can be cured and can avoid the incidences of looking for money, lobbying for money, and to like transporting them to countries like USA, India, where those services are. So that's why we began Gifted Hands Network.
Okay, I see, I see. So Gifted Hand has been created since 2015, and is to help people to have access to mammogram, but with the palpation ways. But can you tell me how accurate is this technique compared to the one that we all know, where all our parents, our wives and sisters go and get the mammogram at the mammogram machine?
Basically, when we're using palpation method to detect breast cancer, the accuracy is like, as the blind person is six more times accurate than someone able-bodied person. Why? Because the blind people, there's what they read and write in braille. I think I've ever heard about braille reading and writing.
Yes, I think is a system of raised dot that the blind people use to read with their fingers. Yeah.
Uh-huh. The notes. So this is someone who is blind but can read and write in what? In braille. So this gives them an upper hand to really find the smallest lump in the breast once medically trained. So we take them through a training of over of 18 months, and this is about trained in Berlin, that is German, in Berlin, German. So we take them through a thorough training, medical training, whereby they are in position to use their sense of touch they use for braille reading and writing, and they're in position to really palpate the breasts to find the smallest lumps. Hence, identifying that someone is either having breast cancer or is having signs of breast cancer or not. So this person who is blind and is medically trained and certified as a medical tactile examiner is in position to identify the smallest lumps or lump six times more accurate than someone who sees. However, the blind people whom we train, they are trained with what we call their sighted gaze. Every blind person has a sighted gaze. Once you train a blind person, you train also a sighted guide. A sighted guide is someone who supports a blind person, someone who sees but supports a blind person in some other assistances, like more in mobilities, like maybe mobility skills. So once you're training a blind person, you're also training someone who sees and is called a sighted guide who supports the blind person.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So once you train a blind person, you train also someone who sees.
So the training that you are, those people, those blind people get, they're getting it with somebody who can see. So, but how come this person who is in Uganda with the blind person can be the same person going to Germany to help them and be on the side with them to teach them how to move? If this person, for example, never came out of Uganda before that, can you elaborate on that for me, please?
First of all, our first time of doing this, I know logistics are touched. However, we have our partners called Discovering Hands, is in Germany, and Discovering Hands helps us to train the blind people, and this is like as partners, because we are the first in Africa to do this. That's why even it has helped us to scoop a lot of awards because of the innovation of trying to support someone who is being looked at as a beggar and is in position to exercise his disability as an opportunity to create employment for himself or herself, and also is saving lives of other people who are from breast cancer death. Hence, using one stone to kill two birds at a go. So in this, we have our partners called Discovering Hands in German, Berlin. So we work with them, and we're in position to try to take like facilitate our blind people. Like you cannot take many, you can take like 3, 4 in a year, and they're in position to get their skills. So once they come back, like in Uganda, these are the people who act as the trainers of trainers. So there is no need of again taking to Germany. So once they come here, they're in position to train other people through our center, which is in Chireka, called the Recreation Center. We have a recreation center in Chireka, whereby our blind people are settled there. So here they're in position to train other people. Hope you get me. Hope you get that. And what helped us is through the funding we have been winning from like people like World Bank supporting us to really make implement really fulfill our goal and our passion. People like the Obama Foundation, first of all, the first fund which helped us in that was the African Entrepreneurship Award, whereby we managed to be winners in Africa under entrepreneurship because our innovation of supporting someone who is being taken as a beggar to someone saving the life of someone even who can see, and this is the blind person or the visually impaired women.
Okay, so this mean that now the blind person has been empowered after going through your training. But at the same time, you mentioned something that is a little bit not clear for me. You're talking about the training is done for a blind person and a person who can see. So there is always two people going for this training, or what?
Yes, like the year we first sent, that is late 2016, coming to 2017. Obviously, in normal circumstances and every training of a blind person or a visually impaired person, like the way I said earlier, there must be a sighted guide. A sighted guide is someone who sees and supports this blind person. And we only take people who are the blind people who are like educated, people who can speak English, and people can be able to read and write in braille. People who are with before even sending them, we first train them in mobility skills. I hope you understand what is meant by mobility skills.
No, can you enlighten me?
Mobility skills is whereby you being this is where, like training a blind person to be in position to move around. That the blind person even can move in town. So a blind person can move in town is like he's having the mobility skills, was trained on that way that he can even move when he's alone.
I see, and it makes sense now for me. I got you. But can you give us insight of how the training, what kind of training they go through to be selected? Since you already told us that you just select the people who can read and write in braille. So what about the person, the helper, and everything? They have to be trained by you also and be with the blind person for good, or what are the thing you guys make them go through before they become certified?
So before we take them, we first take before we take them for training for the breast cancer becoming medical technical examiners training. We first take them through a training of mobility skills, of how they can use their hoity cane to move across by their own or by themselves. So these are people who already learned, who have all those skills and they're in position to read and write in braille. Meaning even that even after doing examination, they're in position to read and write in braille to get to know the situation of the patient or the client. So we first after going through such trainings and like psychological trainings, we also take them through that. So these people are being accompanied by the sighted guide. The sighted guide is someone who sees. And so once where you train one blind person or one visually impaired person, there meaning you are training two people. You're training a blind person and you're training someone who does what? Who sees, who and is called a certificate. Yes. So what acquiring the skills, you have trained this person one, this is the second one. So you're training like one group of people, like you're training two people at a go.
Yeah, it makes sense now. I see. But so the mobility skill is done. The mobility skills training is done in Uganda, or is done in Germany. And those people helping the blind, are they trained also just in Uganda or trained also in Germany? And what is the language that you use when? What is the language they use to get trained when they reach Germany? Are they trained in German, or are they trained in English, or is there a specific language that they're going to use because they are blind, they are not deaf or can talk? So what language, what system do they use exactly to communicate with the instructors and the people training them?
First of all, to begin with what you first asked, we train them in Uganda to do the mobility skills. Actually, the first group of people who went there, they are being trained in Uganda mobility skills. Even these other people are trained in Uganda mobility skills. So after these people, we transport them to Germany. And remember, are you getting me? And we transport them to Germany, and in Germany they are being trained on how they can palpate the breasts. That's they are only trained there to learn how to become medical tactile examiners, and they are certified. And then on the other question you asked is that the sign language. We use the international sign language, which is in English, and even in German they are being trained in English using the international braille reading standards because that's English. Yes. However, yeah. So for us, since our people understand more, we speak English. We cannot speak German. They are being trained in English. I gave an example of Uganda because Uganda is an English speaking language. Then when it comes there also, for instance, in Africa, I told you we are the first to do this. In fact, even up now, we are the first. That's our uniqueness. There is no another country which is doing this in Africa. And so when we transport them to German, they're also being trained in what? In English. However, in German, there are also people who are being trained in what? In German. Those who belong in German. Yes. So giving an example is if you're getting someone who is from France, they will be trained in French when they go there because there's always what we call translation. And in these trainings, there are people who know such languages.
So how many people in Africa are, how many countries in Africa are sending people to get trained in those centers in Germany?
In Africa, we are the only one training the blind people to detect breast cancer. We are the only one.
So you're telling me that you guys are the only one on all the whole continent, African continent, to be who are doing this kind of training for blind people.
We are the only
Uh,
ones.
that's great, and I'm very impressed. But can you tell me uh, what can other countries or other people can do to get or to have access to this kind of training? Because one problem in one country in Africa can be the same problem that other countries on the continent are going through, and I just think that your system is way, way, way ahead of, and can help so many people. So, do you think that there is a way or there is a chance for other countries to get in your program? And if so, can you give us some insight, please?
Yes, there is a big chance because at the moment we're looking at scaling what we are doing in other countries because we identified that the problems Ugandans are facing, like more of the breast cancer deaths in Uganda increasing, this the same in other countries. And even when it comes to disability, in every country people are becoming disabled every minute because disability you can get it by even by birth, by accidents, anything can happen. So, meaning the problems we are solving, these are the same problems which are in other countries. So, here, as an organization, Gifted Hands Network, our strategy is scaling in other countries. However, the only challenge is all about finances, like logistics. That's getting a partner in a country who really can be in position to really back up with the situation, and we're in position to what to scale our services there. Right now in Uganda, we're having medical technical examiners who are blind, so we don't need again to transport to Germany. We no longer need, because these are the people who are train other people. So meaning we just have to, it's all about the finances to find on how we can scale. For instance, I happen to be one of the Acumen fellows, that is East Africa, and I attended, that is in Kenya, and the British Council of Kenya was interested. So those are the talks we always have with such people, to be so that we can find the right partner in that country who can really follow our ethical codes, and they're in position to follow our guidelines, and also us supporting them to see that we can implement there our services. Because the more we implement there, the more we are saving lives of people, and the more we are avoiding employment to the neglected and the marginalized group. These are the blind people, whereby everywhere they think they're only beggars. And for us, we are telling them, look, no, they are not beggars. These people have a genius sense of touch that once we support them, we train them, they can even do it better than some of us who see, and they can save our lives.
Makes sense, yes. But I got one or two more questions here. Tell me something. How much can it cost for somebody to have access to those training? For example, since you said that now you guys have people in Uganda that can help and can train people. So how much it can cost to somebody to have access to this training, or somebody from another country to have access to this kind of training in Germany or other things? Because that's the first, that's one of the thing that people will love to know. And the second one is once those people are trained and certified by your organization, are they allowed to go and work for themselves, or are they working with you, or what's the plan after they get this training?
Okay. First of all, let me start with the last question. You whereby you're asking about, are these blind people working for my organization or our organization as Gifted Hands Network, or they are working on their own? No, they cannot work on their own. Once we train you, and once we are trying to, we want to build a territory, or a center whereby we're in position to support even other people that can allow us also to scale to other countries. So once you are under the organization, you are under our placement. We are the ones in position to place you in any hospital or any clinic which is under Gifted Hands Network, or our partner clinic or hospital which works with Gifted Hands Network. Because remember, if you detect breast cancer, uh, all comes to Gifted Hands Network, because you become an employee of Gifted Hands Network once you are trained. So that is what we do. Yes, and then regarding the costs, when it comes to the costs, I don't know whether you want to get the general picture of the costs regarding the transportation, the onboarding, training, the full meals, what, and for one person.
Yes, just to have a vague idea of how much it can cost to somebody to be able to have access, or to maybe a government that wants to help their blind people community to have access to this thing. How much at least they have to set, or just have an idea, just for maybe just the training. We don't need to worry about accommodation and stuff for right now, but how much somebody can just save to have access to it for a beginning.
$25,000 for two people, but you count them as one. So what I can tell you is that the more the people, the less it becomes. Are you getting me? When it's an individual, when it's one, you may find out that this person can go even up to like $25, because these are two. You're counting one in two. Remember, you have to accommodate them. That when that the more the people, the cheaper it becomes, because it like reduces on the expenses, more especially to do with the meals, what, and then when you're training them at once. But when it's an individual, it's like it's a bit higher, because you're training, and the time you are really injecting on this one individual, it's the same time you can inject even on what, on the other 5 or 6 people. Remember, and the same trainers you're using for this one individual are the same trainers you can use for the other what, 5 or 10 people. So when they are very many, the cost becomes what, small as regards to their number. But when it's one individual, remember, one individual who is a blind person or visually impaired is someone accompanied by someone who is called a sighted gate. So you count these people there too. So that's why I'm telling that you may be that's around $25,000. That is for without transportation or what, but this is the training and onboarding. $25,000 for two people, but you count them as one, because blind person, it's a blind person, and the what, and then the certificate. Yes, whereby they have to be accommodated for that fully 1 year and a half, with meals, and then the training, and then after then the certification. Actually, there are breaks, because we count six months. So there's also a break of 1 month. So that break, it's like you can go home and do something as you're meditating about what you're being trained about.
And these trainings, are there any breaks for people? Because 18 months is a lot. So I was just wondering, is there any break between those trainings, and how often can somebody go back home to see their family and all?
That is for our case when we are taking our first uh, blind people being trained as trainers of trainers. But nowadays we no longer take them there, because you already have people who train other people. We call them TOTs. They are trainers of trainers.
Trainers of trainers. Okay, okay. So and they are in Uganda.
Yes. And those trainers of trainers, you train the trainees.
So right now, as we're talking, there is some people in Uganda who are trained to train the people, the trainees, so the TOT. That's what you're just telling me, if I understand properly. So why are we still talking about this big amount of money that is like $25,000 just for the training? Is there another way to make things happen? Like, for example, let's say that a government wants to have the same program in their country, and they want to train like 50 people or 100 people who are blind, plus their helpers. So don't you think that it's better to bring one of those training one of those TOT to come in one country, in this country to help and train the people, or is there a problem or something that I'm not saying? Can you just explain to me? Because I think just bringing one person in one country where the people are, it can help on the help to get the work out and get more things done at a lower cost. Don't you think so?
Okay, to answer you that, I get your point. Your point more is in the line of reducing on the expenses for people who are yearning to be trained. However, this is something totally different. This is a medical. This is a medical sector. It's health. Health in a health sector, someone will not a trainer will not be treated like a counselor who is going to or a profession or a motivational speaker. This is totally something that if you are to train, there are things you have to use for training and they have to be stationed. And remember, this is something you must be certified before even doing it. So that's why even us were in position to transport our people to Berlin because they had the audacity and for authenticity, we had to do that because not everyone who trains is being certified as a medical technical examiner. This is a medical perspective sector whereby you have to be confirmed that what you're doing is right and you're working on someone and you're saving someone's life, not again fighting against someone's life. So that's why uh, in the ethical codes of this on this like this work, we station training institutes which are being certified by people who have already trained them and they're in position to value these people as medical people. That's why we call them medical tactile examiners. I hope you get what my point.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get like two or three people can come and they are being trained and certified, they are in position to be trusted by the body of the body, training the blind people to become and certifying them as medical tactile examiners. They can certify them on the imposition also with their follow up to be able to see that they can also start training in their countries. However, before being certified as trainers, they cannot train in their countries.
Okay, I see. So what I'm understanding here is being that to start something like that in a new country in Africa, we need to have some TOT certified first, and those TOT have to be the people that these countries send to Uganda or Germany to get trained first and get the certification. So that's what you're telling me.
Yes. And
Okay,
another one is Colombia.
Colombia, the country.
Yes, another one is Colombia. So it is Germany, Benin, then Colombia, then Uganda. Because for us, we are the recent one.
So we have three countries where we have the the centers that certify for the trainings.
Actually, there are three which are certified by now. Yes, they're in position to do that, and they are in position also to certify other people to carry out that. That's why we legally move out and do the breast cancer detection because we are certified under that. But you can no one. That's why no one can easily duplicate it to start. However, people would have duplicated long time ago. That's why I told you we are the only people in Africa.
Good to know. Good to know. But what about the cost of this mammogram? Because you told me that with the blind people is like around 6 times more accurate than the traditional way of doing the mammogram. So how are you managing the cost of this mammogram with the blind people and for them to be able to have a living, to make a living?
Okay, I get your point. Let me just correct you. It's called palpation. There is a difference between palpation and mammography.
Sorry,
That's a mammogram.
palpation.
So you first do the palpation. You first do the palpation. After doing the palpation, then if we identify lumps in your breast, then we're in position to take it to the mammography. That's the mammogram. So the palpation part for the sustainability of the organization, it being a social enterprise, we cost only that's $10.
$10 US?
That's when it's not funded. But like now, like our breast cancer Our breast cancer free Uganda campaign we conduct in Uganda is being funded, so we do it for free when it's funded. And when it's done for free, that's when we move in communities. So we have annual plans whereby you're in a position to go to different regions, and we're in position to do them for free. That's once it is being funded. For instance, ours here is being funded by, it's like we're being funded by World Bank. So in position to do that within that period, it's being funded. However, with individuals, when it's not being funded, we our cost is really a bit low compared to the other people, because for us we are just on $10. Yet the other people would be like on $7, $70. For us we are $10, but when you go to other people for the mammograph, they will tell you 10 to 70 to $100. But for us here, we did for the sustainability part of it, and most things when it's being funded for, because more especially our organization is a hybrid organization. It's an NGO but hybrid. We do charity when it's being funded, and on the other part, for the sustainability part of it, we also cost something like $10 for such individual cases of individuals who need special attention.
Oh, okay, makes sense. $10 for the blind people, for the tactile mammogram kind. Okay, so but what about? I'm still a little bit confused because you mentioned something about 40 to $100 for the other places and $10 for you. That's very low, and I'm not saying that you need to raise your price, but I just want to know how are you managing to take care of the people working for you, manage to run your organization, and keep the lights on. So I think you understand what I'm trying to say here.
Okay, yes, thank you for such a wonderful question. One, these people are paid. These people, like we there's what we call grants. We receive grants from a number of like stakeholders, not only World Bank, but we receive grants whereby these grants are specifically to support the disabled people in our line, and also grants to support our breast cancer for Uganda campaign, our breast cancer campaign of doing the breast cancer detection, whereby we having those supporters, people who are really supporting us to see that what we are spreading and what we are doing, implementing, continues year to year. That's why even right now we are making 10 years in existence. So we have those people, like I just gave you example, like World Bank, we have in Obama Foundation, we have in Ashoka, we have in Kamagawa, we have in Jeff Skoll Foundation. But these are in USA, Jeff Skoll, Kamagawa, World Bank. These are people.
Wow, we're talking about big names here.
These are who really saw the noble cause, and they're in position to see that at least a blind person cannot be taken as someone who is a beggar. Besides that, Besides that, I told you that annually we organize a dinner in the dark fundraising event. And in this is a fundraising event whereby you're in position to arrange an event, and people are to pay. People pay to come and share with you, eat and drink with you. So this dinner in the dark is a fundraising event which supports more of the disabled people we are work with, and even like giving chance for other disabled people like the blind people to be in position to also be trained. So we put a fundraising event at Sheraton Hotel, and then we are in position to say a table is worth this, individual dinner is worth this. So the money we get from there is also a backup of the organization what work, supporting the visually impaired to be in position to receive their salaries of how they are doing their work to support other blind people. Also, we're looking at coming up with dinner in the dark restaurants,
Really? Dinner in the dark restaurant?
whereby you can even also you can book from where you are, and then you're in position to come to Uganda and experience it with the blind people or the visually impaired, whereby you're being served by the blind people who are like they will be like waitresses. Are you getting it? So in this, you're in position to generate income which income can be in position to sustain the organization. So that's how we do it.
It sounds very good. So, and another question that just come in my mind after you mentioned that, how, for example, somebody, so you are partner with the government of Uganda. Actually, the government, the breast cancer people of Uganda are working with you. They are helping you. Okay. So, but how do we do, for example, to get for example, somebody is diagnosed with some lump, and now you get the confirmation after the palpation, no, it's palpation. Yes, okay. After the palpation, they to make the confirmation, you send them to have access to a mammography, and if I understand properly, is the government or the center of that is taken care by the government who helps you. You are partner with them. So after that, what is the follow up? For example, if somebody is positive and need attention for to treatment and everything, what what do you do? How do you do that? And how do you get to the point to help people? For example, people who can't afford to do that. Because I've been with my own organization. I try to work with you and figure out how we can raise a certain amount of funding for a young girl who was diagnosed with a breast cancer. So why are we not able to have a follow up, and you have to go through other stuff, other organization to be able to help individual who can't afford the treatment? Do you have any plan for that?
Yeah, basically, in our organization, we have a plan whereby there is some, we can say, some fund which is basically allocated to such individuals. But as I've told you, many people are developing breast cancer when even they don't know. So some of them, when we move across the regions of the country, we're in position to identify some other people who are having breast cancer. But in our plan and in our financial plan or annual financial plan, our capacity could be even for like maybe, let me give you an example, like maybe 20 people. But then you are by the end of the year or within that year, you're in position to get like a 50 or 70, and they cannot be in your financial capacity. So that's why even sometimes we reach out to our partners. We reach out, we cry out, we really lobby for funds to see that it can support these people. Because that's why even the main issue why we move to different communities, sensitizing them, educating them about breast cancer, and above all, encouraging them to attend to early breast cancer detection. Because believe me or not, once they attend to breast cancer detection, they cannot come out as victims of breast cancer. Like all breast cannot be victims of breast cancer. Because once you come to early breast cancer, you can easily treat you in Uganda using chemotherapy treatment, which is done by our partners called the Uganda Cancer Institute.
Yes.
But then there's an incident of individuals like the one we're sharing with you, uh, that lady. Since we are doing this, since this is our work, and we're being recognized by many people, so every person will refer someone to your organization. And trust me, it's not that you support each and every person. So that's why sometimes we also reach out to people to see that also you can save some lives of other people, though we identified them late.
I see, I see.
Yes.
But you mentioned something about this lady that we are trying to help. So the cost for her treatment is like 10 million for your country. So it's like $2,800 for US dollars. So what are the ways somebody can come and help if they want to make a donation, or just get in touch with your organization to know more and do something for some people like this lady? Do you have? Can you tell us more? Can you tell us something about it?
Yeah, basically, like though we came up with the crowdfunding campaign. I believe through that the crowdfunding campaign,
Yes.
we can be in position. to really support this lady, because this is a lady who at first had the same challenge, and her breast, the first breast was cut off. And remember, sometimes breast cancer is contagious. Once you go for your late, you go for the late, the advanced detection, like you find yourself you will be cut off on this breast, but with just after one year, this is the same lady coming up, and this other breast also is affected. Meaning the only solution coming is do surgery again on the other, what, on the other breast, meaning that she will be breastless. However, our concern here is to support this lady so that she can be in position to save her life.
Yes.
Besides her not having the breasts, at least she can live. She can now live a second life.
Yes.
So, for those people who cannot reach out to us directly on our social media platforms or through our emails, I think the best way we can support this lady, and this is a transparent way, which it really can be accounted for, is through the crowdfunding campaign, which is being circulated across social media platforms, more especially with you, our partners. That is Light Africa,
Yeah, Light of Africa.
Light of Africa.
Yeah.
Yes, Light of Africa. I believe an individual listening to us and listening to me and is in position to support and also help this lady really survive. Like the way you've been circulating on Lights of Africa, we can really share this to, even if you cannot afford to support the, like maybe that much money, give in your $10, give in $5,
Mm-hmm.
or share with other people, because you never know. Because this is, may I believe, a crowdfunding campaign is very transparent. We are you are in position to really know how much you have been, how much you have donated, and what it has it done for. Well, like what has it done for? I think it's the best way.
Yes.
It's the best weapon now to support this individual, because this is an individual whereby we are coming together as partners to support her, because it was not really in the budget of of our organizations, because honestly it's hard to support like 100 people. Give an example, like 100 people, and yet in your finance you are limited to a year of like 20 people, because when you talk about breast cancer, it's something which is hard and it's so expensive
Absolutely.
when it comes
And
to
that
such.
is why I'm asking all the people listening to us today that please don't hesitate to go on our website to see about this crowdfunding that we are running on our social media on Facebook. Also, we are there, and the crowdfunding is going on the GoFundMe platform. So don't hesitate to go there. Help us, help the people in need, please. So on that point, I think that we are coming to at least the end of this first interview with Andrew. And but before that, Andrew, I know it's very late at your place, so I just want us to close up now and see what we can do and program in the future. So, but before that, do you have anything that you would like to add, and make sure that our listeners understand and keep in mind?
Basically, uh, before I wind up, I would love to say to emphasize more on saving Melissa Navide, the lady we have been talking about, the lady you have been sharing on Light of Africa. Like last year, her first breast was cut off, and I think we shall be sending all the pictures of what she has been going through. And this year, it comes again. She needs some support, of which, as we could not manage, that's why we're looking for support from people like you, who can understand what breast cancer is and how, like having breast cancer means. She needs hope. Our hope. We all don't have that much, but we believe with collective support, we can be in position to rise uh, and really support her attain the treatment. She's called Melissa Navide, and I think you have read all that through Lights of Africa, and I think there's a crowd campaigning link. Please click there, support her with anything, because this is really a crowdfunding campaign is transparent enough, and everything will be available to you for really supporting this lady. Then you asked me a question of what is my plan for this year. Yeah, I'm coming to USA, and I think you're going to collect. I'm coming for the World Bank Summit, like earlier communicated with you in Washington D.C. And I believe we shall be in position to meet since you are nearby. That's Maryland, and I invite you to come and join us at the World Bank so that at least we can be in position to see, to lobby and liaise on how we can support the marginalized communities in Africa. And I think that will be our biggest part to play for the remaining months of this year. And I believe there are also other. I think in the health sector, I'll give health sector and disability. I think I will join hands with you and be in position to see that at least we can transform some lives of the marginalized communities in different countries. And I invite those who love to listen and hear from me. I'm ready to give you a like I'm ready to be there for you, and I'm ready to be in position to really uh, share information with you, be in position to see on how we can really try help each other and make a difference in the lives of people who need our support. And what I would say is that remember, disability is not inability, and a perceived disability can be privileged as a real talent. That's why the blind use their talent of being disabled, visually impaired, and they can use it as a talent of saving lives of people suffering from breast cancer.
Disability is not inability. Wow. That's a powerful quote. Thank you so much, Andrew, for your time. Honestly, after what you just said, I don't want to add more or ask more questions. All I can say is you are a blessing for those people. I know that, and I can feel the passion in your voice and the dedication you are having for this cause. I really hope that we're gonna reach the point where you're gonna be established on the whole continent. On that note, thank you again, Andrew, for your time and all this information. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure our listeners also managed to get something out of this conversation. And I can't wait to see you next month for more updates and in-person interview. Okay? You take care, brother, and God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too.
And that wraps up today's episode of Voices of Hope. We discussed the inspiring mission of the Gifted Hands Network to reduce breast cancer deaths, raise awareness, and create sustainable employment for the visually impaired in Uganda. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for more stories that shine a light on hope and resilience. Until next time, take care and stay inspired.